My first question is, how do I pronounce the name of your band?
Salezianos.
Salezianos. Wicked. All right. Thanks. Cheers for that. Cool. So
That's
yeah,
everybody's first question.
yeah. Well, look, that first song that you put out has grabbed some attention. Hey, like you got like Metal Addicts, Metal Hammer, Metal Injection. Lots of people are spruiking this thing. That's great, right?
Yeah, no, we've been super happy with like how it's been received so far.
Mm,
Early stages, but yeah, just getting on Metal Hammers now, maybe getting the title of this wrong, but it's something to the effect of 12 new metal songs. NEW, by the way, not NU. Metal songs you need to hear right now. And we were up against some pretty stiff competition. It was a voting for the listeners' favorite and so on and so forth. We ended up finishing about sixth, I think, on that, and so there's no way we're going to finish first. Like,
We're
not
at
a
fifth,
chance.
right?
But yeah, we're pretty stoked to firstly get on that list, and just to even finishing sixth was pretty sweet.
yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah, and getting the premiere with Metal Injection was
Mm.
like we weren't expecting that.
Mm, yeah, it's cool, man. So it's there like that first Temet Nos. How do I say that one? How do I pronounce
Temet
it?
Noske.
Temet Noske. There we go. There we go. So yeah, that's the only song I've heard. It's fantastic, man. Like it's a really unique mix of styles going on. Like, how has songwriting worked so far for you guys? Like, did you have something in mind when this whole thing started?
We
Or
were like writing during lockdown most of this stuff, so
mm,
we were like remotely in our own little rooms, like kind of isolated from the whole world. So
mm.
it was pretty unique kind of environment in our own. It was very insular. If you could,
Yeah, the actual like writing process, so to speak, it kind of it can come from either sort of angle initially. So like it's not always the riff, let's write around it. What I really like working with Nick for in particular is he writes these really fucked up beats, is the only
Oh
way
yeah,
that I can think to put it. Like they're
yeah, cool.
really kind of from somewhere else. And yeah, we kind of do it both ways. But like what I love Nick to do is to one of these beats that he's come up with, send it through and write around that, because it takes me into a completely different zone so far as, composing to what it would be if I'm just coming up with something and bringing it to him. And we do that as well. Like sometimes it's the riff, sometimes it's the beat, but the whole process is really, really quite organic. Like it flows really quickly and effortlessly. And Nick's one of the few musicians he's the only musician that I have felt so creatively on the same wavelength as, that it is so effortless.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it was created in lockdown. And then when we had those moments where we were permitted to travel certain distances, we get together and sort of hash things out. But yeah, like I said, man, it's just so effortless. Like with working with Nick, like he's definitely my creative counterpart.
Yeah, nice, man. Cool.
absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. So are there like I don't know, bands in common or anything, or like when this thing started, was there something specific you were like, we wanted to create this kind of sound? You know what I mean? Like,
No, there wasn't like a sort of conscious, this is what we're going to do.
mm,
But the first time that Nick and I hooked up, was it 2018 or 2019, Nick? One of the two.
It's like very early 2019.
Very early 2019. So the very first time that we got together, and this was through one of those like, musician looking for band looking for musician, blah, blah, blah sites. And Nick hit me up, and I went over to his place the first time, and we just jammed for probably a good 2 to 3 hours, unspoken. Like, and this is where it became very apparent to me very quickly that we were very much on the sort of same wavelength, so to speak. It just morphed into one thing after the other. And then we came to realize that we shared a lot of the same musical interests so far as bands and so on. And so we jammed, to a bunch of stuff, like jammed to some Pantera, some Sepultura, some old school Metallica,
yeah,
stuff like that. And it was just, I remember when I was leaving for the day, packing my stuff up, and I'm paraphrasing you here, Nick, but you said something to the effect of, you just know, don't you? And he was right. Like it just worked. So anyway, kind of gone on a bit of a tangent there, but
no, that's cool.
we didn't sort of sit down and go, this is the style that we're going to create and perform. This is the like kind of angle we want to take. It just sort of, to what I was saying before, it just organically became and becomes what it becomes, so to speak. I want to sound like a pretentious wanker, by the way, but that's legitimately how it goes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you just kind of feels right. You kind of whatever's working, you go with it, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. So yeah, the video. You guys have a video for this song in some abandoned building. Where is that? That looks a cool space. That looks really
Old
cool.
Bradfield factory in Yarraville.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it was actually closed off. Like the guy that did the video was like, "Oh, we'll go to this factory where we can get access real easy." We rocked up, and the whole place had been like completely like closed down, and like it was a construction site.
Yeah,
So
it
we
was.
basically broke in illegally.
Yeah, Sam Tan is the dude that did the filming there. But yeah, we went in and went about some relatively unsafe areas of this structure to the point where Sam joked later on, "Hey, remember that time we nearly died?" And it's like, "Yeah, good times." But yeah, like
that movie Fall, they were climbing up these ladders that were like falling apart.
yeah, everything's rusted
Yeah.
out and shaking, and you know,
Yeah.
it was not the safest. Hence why it's closed off. But yeah, it was definitely worth it for the end result.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. And then you got like dark bile dripping from Henry Ellis's lips, like how'd you get together with Henry? He's based in Los Angeles, right? Like how'd you guys get together?
Yeah, we found him online. We decided when we lost our last vocalist, we were like, had this idea just pop into our heads. We're like, maybe we can find someone on, there's a website out there with, vocalists looking for paid work. And what's the name of the site, Dan? Do you remember?
So yeah, I do. It kind of the chain of events that led to getting in contact or hooking up with Henry was the guy that mixes all our stuff, Dr. Mike Trebetskoff from EOL Studios. He'd just released his EP, The Overcoming Project, and he had Mike Heller from Fear Factory at the time on drums. And I reached out to him and I was like, "Bro, how the fuck did you get Mike Heller to play drums on your tracks?" And he recommended me or pointed me in the direction of this site, which, if I recall correctly, was called Metal for Hire. And yeah, it's basically just metal musicians of every caliber providing every potential service, be it instrument, guitar, bass, drums, or vocals. And so Nick and I got together where he was living at the time, and we went to this site. We're having a look through all these vocalists, and there's a lot of them. And this isn't to cast shade on anyone, because like they're all talented, but none of them really hit. And it kind of got to the point where we were like, well, this one's the best so far, but it wasn't like, this is the guy, you know what I mean? Until we stumbled upon Henry, listened to what he did, and it was just...
Yeah, we'd actually never heard of him before, to be honest.
we hadn't. And so we listened to his stuff that he had there. Then we went and like looked at his stuff externally, did a bit of our own research. And Henry's played in bands like Scar the Martyr, Actors Defiance. His current band is Calm, spelled QAALM, which you should check out. Absolutely amazing. So anyway, all the stuff that, the more we watched, the more we were like, this is a no-brainer. Absolutely. So we hit him up. He was keen, and, that's where it all began.
Yeah, that's cool. And how does it work with lyrics? Like, are you guys writing lyrics, or is he kind of bringing that as well? Like, what's the songwriting with him?
That particular, Temet Noske, Nick and I wrote the original lyrics to. When I say original, it'll make sense in a second. We then sent them over to Henry, and Henry made them his own, so to speak. So that one lyrically had a lot more involvement from us, but by the same token, like what it became, he reworked, he rephrased, made it so that from his interpretation of how it should sort of be performed and what worked best and so on. Like, he's got a super keen ear for that sort of stuff. Like, phrasing obviously is super important. He then sent back what he'd reworked, so to speak. And it was awesome. We're like, great. And then when he sent us the recording of his vocals, we were floored. Like,
Absolutely.
Not only had it met expectations, it went above and beyond, far above and beyond what we'd hoped for. We were just,
Yeah, especially someone on some random site.
It's just, and even hooking up with Mike originally, like, we won't go into all but you know how it is, man. It's like you meet this person who knows this person, who knows this person, who knows it, blah, 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 blah. And they're all like little chance happenings and chance sort of interactions that if any of those didn't happen, you wouldn't have got to point B.
Yeah, man.
So super stoked that he was able to sort of send us in that direction and that we found him, and that we also didn't kind of go, because we're going through so many vocalists, that we didn't go, all right, this is the best. Look, let's use this guy. It'll probably work. And again, no shade. They're all talented, but he was it.
Yeah, cool, man. Good. So The Great Silence is coming out. Is that another single? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool. So what's is it a similar sound to the first single? Like what's the kind of,
It's a lot kind of more less structured and a lot more like slow. Like the intro is a lot slower, I guess. You could say it's a bit more laid back tempo wise. But it kind of gyrates, in its own kind of its own way. It's like like less structured. It's not like we have repeating parts in Temet. It's a bit more kind of its own journey.
Yeah, it's like probably like a pretty accurate way to sum it up is it's coherently schizophrenic. So it kind of just goes places that maybe you're not anticipating, but it works. And it's a much more sort of 1-2 punch to the gut than like Temet is a very epic, very long song. And this song is kind of a bit more immediate, I guess.
Is there a video for this song?
We've got a lyric video for this one getting made,
yeah.
not like a fully fledged,
cool.
And that'll be.
We can't afford any more videos.
What's that?
We can't afford any more videos.
Yeah, we can't, man. We're eating mee goreng, man. Temet has resulted in eating mee goreng for the next 5 years.
Yeah, man.
The sacrifices you make, though, man. You got to
know, man. Yeah. Yeah. No, you got to do it, man. That's cool, man. So what's the plan? Like, obviously, your vocalist is in LA. Like, are you guys ever gonna play live? Like, what's the kind of?
He actually mentioned coming over here.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was also talking to our publicist she's over there too. She was talking about booking shows over there. So either way, like hopefully we can all get together soon.
Shout out to Raquel Figlo, our girl over in LA.
Killing it. Like she got us the premiere and all that.
Cool.
For the immediate interim, we've just sent Henry another track that's fully sorted instrumentally, so he can again work his magic, do what he does with his vocals. On this occasion, so The Great Silence, we sent a verse, but due to some medical shit and whatever going on, and we wanted to keep progressing, like keep the ball rolling. So like, look, here's what we got so far. Are you cool to just go with it and do your thing? And he did, and his thing was amazing. But anyway, this new tune, no, we haven't written anything, nothing at all. And it's basically a case of do what you write lyrically, what you think or you feel, go with your gut. And, so far as structurally and like phrasing and all that business, just do it. And we've got another one in the bag as well that we're going to send over to him shortly. Both of these are much more epic, so to speak, in like they're much longer songs that go on in more varied directions. Again, it's kind of like the music that I have always loved the most is like the music that's almost been the sonic equivalent of watching like a really epic movie. By the time you get to the end of it, you feel like you've kind of gone on a journey. And that's not something that we kind of set out and go, this is what we're doing, but it ends up that way almost always.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, the immediate focus is absolutely recording, but sorry to cut you off there, man. To your point, shows absolutely on the cards.
Cool.
We haven't played live for yonks.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Cool. What's the what software are you guys using? Is sharing files easy enough? Like, what's the process for you guys?
That's easy as
just Dropbox. As for sharing files, we're using WeTransfer until they change their policy, and now you have to pay for it.
Okay. Yeah.
So now we're using Dropbox.
But yeah, we basically, so far as the instrumental tracks, we record them between both of our homes, and usually do them over a period of time. Like we'll have the song mapped out and like written, and then we just do it all within our homes and send them over to Henry to put his vocals on. Then we send it across to Dr. Mike, who I mentioned before, and Dr. Mike turns it into something absolutely sensational.
Yeah. And with Dr. Mike, like what kind of, is there notes? Like what's the kind of instructions?
Yeah,
there, you know?
there are.
He asks for notes and stuff. But
that's it. And look, what we've found generally is that like we will send some sort of guide notes. But when he sends back what he's done, we will sometimes sort of think, oh, maybe this or maybe that, and he'll tweak it. But we more often than not realize, nah, it was actually perfect as it was. Like he's got the best ear. I mean, you've kind of got to, doing what he does, but the way that he mixes, again, it's that case of taking it to the next level. Not only does it complement it, it makes it it takes it, above and beyond what it was.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. So we've got the next single coming out April, right? Like that's coming
30th.
up. 30th. Yeah. So do you have a date in mind for the next thing, or is kind of see how we go, where are we at with that?
We're still yet to get we got another single that's like very different that we've recorded. It's been mixed, but it's not mastered. But we're just talking to our publicist about working with her on that next month. But we don't have any dates locked in or anything like that.
Yeah. It's probably like the way things are going, it's probably going to be like a track a month, basically. That's sort of how things are sort of panning out. But yeah, so this one, The Great Silence, on the 30th this month, and the next will be the other tune that Nick alluded to. And then we'll move on from there. But yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. Awesome. No, that's great. Well, look, Daniel and Nick, thanks heaps for your time, and I really like that first single a lot. So it's a different sound. I'm looking forward to.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Glad you dig it, man. Really.
Yeah, cool. No, awesome. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Cheers.
You too, bro.
All right, mate.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And now, thrill seekers, let's hear it for the host, Daryl Summers!
These boys have travelled all the way from Euclid, bring some death metal, give it up for Toxic Volcano!